Doing a demonstration today for my friends at W6TRW. They scored themselves a BuddiHEX and the Masswork setup, so we're going to set this up for winter field day and get 3 ops on 1 antenna. Okay, so I don't think it's going to go anywhere. I just want you to keep a hand on it because I'm going to go around and guy it out right now. All right.
That's easy.
So then check this out. So here's your bands.
Okay.
And the way they do this is they're all color coded.
Nice.
To the hub.
So, perfect.
So if you start at the top, blue, we find blue, there's 20.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a slot.
So you got 6 on there, or 5? You got 5
6
bands?
to...
Oh, 6, yeah.
6 to 20.
6. Very nice.
So you go...
Very nice.
The driven is right...
Tomorrow.
What's that?
What happened?
Arrives tomorrow.
Cool. The BuddiHEX?
This exact system,
Cool.
we have one for the pub.
Excellent.
Yep.
Excellent.
So I generally make the coax the back side,
Okay.
so you can kind of just Velcro it on like that,
Yep.
so it's nice and chill. So the front is going to be wherever you slot on your connector here. So loosen this guy up as a hook.
Okay. Nice.
And then you just walk it off the reel. So you just go to the end here. See the clip? Yep. Okay. Just walk in there. Okay, so we've got 10, 15, and the 20 meter antenna wire strung because we're going to be using a 10, 20, and 15 triplexer, which will take our single Messi and Poloni coax line and feed it into 3 radios that can operate simultaneously, assuming we have the triplexer and the filters for those bands. I promise I'll show you, it's really cool. But for those curious, I skip over a lot of talking about stringing the wire because it's literally as simple as just pushing this in and sliding the wire through. So you assemble the whole skeleton of the antenna and then you feed the wires. And literally it's just a finger screw to tighten it up, which is this guy right there. Just tighten it up, super easy. String it around, walk, one person can do it, no problem.
Never can keep in my head, like, when is the best time of day for like 10, 20, 40?
I always say like 10 meters is best. Like when you wake up in the morning and drinking your coffee, 10 meters is what you want to try for the West Coast.
Okay.
And then 20 becomes the all-day band.
Okay.
When all else fails, just go to 20. And sometimes 17 and 15 will be open if 10 was good. So you can almost, as it gets longer in the day, you can go from 10 to 12 to 15 to 17.
Okay.
And work your way up.
Sort of just follow the clock, and then 40 is more better at night, or
40 is good in the late afternoon, all through the night and into the morning.
Okay.
It's usually high noon when I don't do 40.
So the bands that I absolutely cannot run at home are 15, 17, 20.
Okay.
Because I've got something.
You
at home.
can't run 20.
I've got
That's a
something
bummer
at
because that's the
home.
one that's the one I point people to. I usually say 20 and 40, 20 and 40.
I still.
So a couple of power options here. The Bioenno, what'd you call this?
This is a BPP-160.
BPP-160 is pulling charge off the solar panel. 3 barrel adapters for, it'll do 12, have you tested the max output?
12 volts, you can run 10 watts, no problem.
Yeah, so this is kind of like the QRP Dream and about a 12 amp hour battery. This you ran field day for the whole time, right? You had 40% left?
Yeah.
That's awesome. And then because we're literally out kind of with no signal at all, you have a, what is that? That's the MikroTik? Oh, he's got a MikroTik Wi-Fi router access point so that we can connect all of our laptops together for logging for the club here. That's awesome. That's a pro maneuver right there.
10 works for me.
Full monitor setup. I like it. I'm officially contributing to the club, sending an email, hopefully.
On
On WinLink. my first contact for extra bonus points. And then I got to do some single sideband. But we've got 3 radios connected via a triplexer over there on the BuddiHEX, doing some work. Whiskey 6 Tango Romeo Whiskey.
Whiskey 6 Tango Romeo Whiskey, please copy. 2 Oscar, India November, QSO?
QSL, we are a 6 Oscar Romeo Golf.
We got the 6 Oscar, can I get the section please?
Oscar Romeo Golf, Oscar Romeo Golf, QSL.
6 Oscar Romeo Golf, QSO.
Thank you. All right,
Nice.
1.
Hell yeah.
So we're running QRP, which makes it already difficult, but we have the advantage of the BuddiHEX with 3 people operating at the same time. We can kind of point in the direction. We're in the West Coast, which means pretty much everybody's east. I am using the ICOM Bluetooth dongle because it's very windy and we got other operators, so this is really helpful. But thank you for the contact. November 9, Bravo Charlie November. So when you're doing this, you oftentimes have to let go of a station. If they've got a big pile up on QRP, you sometimes got to bail, come back later. They'll probably be there.
Yeah.
Whiskey 6 Tango Romeo Whiskey. Whiskey 6 Tango Romeo Whiskey.
Niner Tango, winter field day.
Whiskey 6 Tango Romeo Whiskey.
Whiskey 1, I believe it was Papa Tango? Whiskey 1, Bravo, Papa Tango. All right, Whiskey 1, Bravo, Papa Tango. Please copy.
One more and I got to give up.
Somebody's literally just tuning on me.
These are like in-ear monitors, so it blocks out like everything. What was that?
India, Charlie Tango, Roger.
Oh, are you calling
Whiskey
CQ?
1, Bravo,
Oh,
Papa
wow.
Tango, 73, thanks for the
Oh,
call.
wow.
There's like
Okay.
another guy out portable running to
I might do that. 15's wide enough.
Kilo, Niner Tango, QRZ.
Whiskey 6 Tango Romeo Whiskey.
Station ending in Romeo Whiskey.
Whiskey 6 Tango Romeo Whiskey. We are 6 Oscar Romeo Golf.
Okay, we got 6 Oscar Romeo Golf, and say your call sign again.
Whiskey 6 Tango Romeo Whiskey. Whiskey 6 Tango Romeo Whiskey. QSL.
Whiskey 6 Tango Romeo Whiskey. We got 6 Oscar from Oscar Romeo Golf. Please copy to Oscar, Illinois. QSL?
That's a QSL. Thank you for the contact. 7-3.
barely end up using 6.
Got windy conditions. That poor Hex Beam over there didn't make it. Well, he's still working, but it's a little cattywampus. So you've got your 9700
Correct.
running. What's the app you're using?
Using
Oh.
SAT PC32.
And this is Ham Radio Deluxe.
And this right now is Ham Radio Deluxe. Interesting enough, I like the graphics off of Ham Radio Deluxe.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, they're working on trying to get everything updated. So Doc is really pretty busy and trying to get everything squared away. But then
there's an ISS pass coming up.
There's an ISS pass coming up. That's the one I'm waiting for right now. It should be coming up here in about 19 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And then the machine, the actual driving part of the whole thing is SAT PC32.
Okay.
Set that up in the ISS.
Oh, and you're using that to control the gimbal?
And use that to control the portable rotator out there to get my AZ and the EL
Got it. Okay.
into the rotor system. Okay. Now the other thing that I use too is I use Win4ICOM.
Yeah.
You're familiar with that.
Absolutely.
The reason is because it has a larger screen on it versus trying to work off the IC. I love the spectrum scope
Right.
and everything on
It makes it easier
But
for a lot of stuff.
It's small.
Right.
And especially when you get on the satellites, everything gets compressed. Win4ICOM really kind of spreads that out a little.
Yeah.
And then
And you're logging here.
Yeah. and the
This is the
logging-
second monitor that you're just
It's
running
just the second
M3
monitor.
FJP.
Exactly.
Nice. Very cool. What's your antennas? That's the big thing. People are I'm gonna run outside.
So there's the antennas.
Yeah.
So
Like, what is this? This is a.
So you have the portable rotation,
Uh-huh.
the AL, and the EZ.
And so okay, I got
and
it.
then these are N squared Leos.
M squared Leos. Okay.
Yeah, M squared Leos. So here's the 2 meter. Here's the 70 centimeters.
This is a, and then what's this the
It's just a regular speaker stand.
speaker stand?
It's just a speaker stand.
And what's the Azel rotor?
It's called portable rotation.
Portable rotation.
Portable rotation.
Is the guy still making them?
He's not,
Okay.
unfortunately.
And so is this a wireless connection to it? How are you
No,
connected
it's
to it? You got a
actually
wire?
It's a single wire, and it goes into a control box. The
Okay.
control box then hooks into the computer through USB.
Right.
And then you use SAT PC
To
actually
control. Right. Okay.
for your AZ as well as your EO.
And you said how many contacts have you made now?
I'm up to 28.
28 contacts, which is fantastic. Is that FM birds? You're doing the linears?
Mostly on the packet.
Packet.
Off of the Geo. Working it off.
So that you were telling me about that. That's all 1200 baud packet,
That's all 1200 baud packet.
and it's real tight, real compressed.
Real tight. Really
That's
compressed
fantastic.
on
So right now, Doug's beating us, all of us, collectively, on Winter Field Day using the satellite.
Using the satellite,
Which is
the
amazing.
IO-117.
Yeah. That's
When I
super
first
cool.
fired up, and of course the bird was coming out, out in the west and
Right.
everything. Japan stations all over the place.
So you've got Japan calls in there?
Japan was in there. New Zealand was in there.
No
couldn't-
way.
Yes. I
That's
couldn't quite
amazing.
pick them up at the moment.
What's your? I see you got a pounded in ground stake too. What's
Pounded
what's your
ground
power
stake,
for all this?
Just using a lithium-ion phosphate battery.
What's the solar though? How many watts of power are you running?
Oh yeah, that's a good question. So I probably have about, what is that? That panel's probably about 200, another 200, and this one's around 200. So.
And do you always pound in a ground stake? Everybody asks me when you go portable and you're going to be here for a while. Do you run a ground stake?
I always run a ground stake.
Yeah.
I just run a ground stake.
Yeah.
I mean,
Why not?
I mean,
You got it. I mean, you got the tools and stuff in the RV.
Tools, it's right there. You put it into the RV. It's up on the rubber tires and everything.
Oh, it's isolated. That's
It's
true.
isolated.
Yeah.
You
You're on the tires.
Right.
Yeah. So that's a good point. And by doing that, well, have you ever had problems where you didn't do the ground?
I
and then
have not had any problems.
You've always just followed
I've
the
always
standard.
put the ground stake in.
I mean, if it works, it works, right?
That's right.
Oh, thank you for showing us that. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah,
And
tell
that
me
was
about
a-
this.
That was a Mio.
This was fascinating to me. So you're saying, I'm going to change my mic here so that we make sure we get all the audio in this one. So you were telling me that there is a Italian,
satellite.
is it a
GreenCube.
GreenCube, CubeSat.
IO-117,
Okay, IO-117.
and it's a Mio.
Oh, so it's got a high altitude,
It's a
so it's
very
a
high
big
altitude.
footprint.
Bigfoot.
What? How much power do you put in when you're trying to get to that one?
I usually run about 75 watts.
Okay, so you're putting some power into
You
it,
got to put some power into it.
but you're able. What's the footprint on
To
it?
give you an idea on the footprint, most Leo footprints are about 10 minutes. Okay.
Right.
A high Leo is going to give you 20 minutes, like
Right.
an RS-44.
But that also reduces who can hear you.
That's right.
Yeah.
Exactly. But
Yeah.
now you get into a Mio, you have a 1 hour footprint.
One. Oh wow.
So all of a sudden, now you're talking to the Japan, and the Japanese folks are able to get into Europe.
So the New Zealand station you heard was on that sat,
Was on the IO-117.
and you said the Italians have decided they're gonna.
They're going to mothball it. They just put out a notification. I just happened to be on the net yesterday. I was looking at Karsten's website out there, and he said, "Whoa, wait a minute. We
And-
need your help. If everybody would kind of jump in on this."
Right.
He actually has a petition started.
Okay.
So I'll be happy to send you the
Yeah.
links
So
on it.
Karsten, you know his call sign. Do you remember his call sign, so I can
can't.
tell
It's-
people?
It's OZAAR. Don't hold me to it.
But
I'll-
Karsten, okay, and he's got a petition, so we'll link that in the video description. Now, what's interesting, I know with the Leos, back when they were the ISS, they just kind of chuck them out. They just throw them out there, right? There's
That's
not
right.
a difficult process to get them
No.
in orbit, and they just degrade over time and they
That's
fall.
right.
But MEOs, depending on the size, that's actually an orbit they have to maintain. Is it running out of resources, or do we know?
Great questions. I was hoping that we would get more information.
Okay.
And that's kind of
Tell
what
us in
we're
the
all-
comments.
Yeah, that's kind of what we're all looking for
Uh-huh.
at this particular point.
Yeah.
I think, there's some communication going back to, obviously, the people that have it up there and managing it and everything else.
Yeah.
But other than that, it seems to be fairly scarce.
Interesting. Well, that's sad to hear, because that's a I mean, 1 hour is amazing. That's huge. You can do
phenomenal.
all kinds of stuff with that.
You know, to give you an idea, I mean, I'm out here in the West Coast, and, you know, as far as DXCC countries and whatever, yes, you know, you can get Alaska, you can get Hawaii, you know, Canada and whatever, but that was it. The folks out on the East Coast, of course, they're able to break
A little bit
into
closer,
Europe
yeah.
and some of the other things on RS-44. All of a sudden, when GreenCube came into the picture, IO117, you know, I'm sitting there now, I've jumped up to 65 DXCC countries.
Yeah, you're getting like China, Korea, Asiatic, Russia,
you
Japan,
know,
all that, yeah.
Well,
if you're here in New Zealand, you're covering the entire Pacific.
Exactly.
That is a huge footprint. That's amazing. So it's linear. Is it
No,
a linear sat?
It's a DigiPeat sat.
Oh, that's why you're using packet.
That's why you're using packet.
Got it. So, okay, now I understand.
So it's a digipeater on there.
So you do need a real tight QSO because it's
Very
basically
much so.
one channel, right? It's one frequency.
One frequency, everybody is on the same channel.
And you have some capture effect there.
Yeah, some
so the
capture
largest
effects.
station, the most powerful
Correct.
station is going to hold it. And so ideally you get them in and out as fast as possible to work
Correct.
as many cues.
And the beauty
Okay.
being is that Karsten was so kind to be able to step up, and he wrote this program. He calls it Terminal.
Okay.
It's GreenCube Terminal. There's been a number of other people that have collaborated on it and have brought their expertise into it. And they've really been able to, and the number of stations now participating has just grown exponentially.
Okay.
But the beauty being is that we're able to kind of manage through all of this.
Right. Well, I mean, if you have this is your access, your link budget, if you
Right.
will, right? If it's just one in, one out every time, you got to make it as efficient as possible.
And that's
so he did
what
it.
we've done.
Well, thank you, Karsten. Good job, man. That's okay. Well, thank you, Doug, for explaining
Well,
all
you're
that.
nice
That's a. We'll talk, guys. Get in the comments and help us out. Figure out what's going on there, and we'll talk about this in the future. Because that's a sad thing if we lose a
I
big
was going to
footprint
send
like
an
that.
email off to Karsten.
Mhm.
Like I said, he has started basically, you know, anybody can step up and help. You know, he has a petition initiated.
Yeah.
You know, please, let's all kind of jump on.
Yeah.
I have to believe, hopefully, that people are reaching out to AMSAT, you know,
Yeah.
US, UK, whatever.
I'm hoping
Satnogs.
I'm hoping it's not a resource issue because
Ah.
that would suck.
That's right.
I mean, there's nothing you can do about that.
No.
If it's just, I mean, but then you just leave it on and you just kind of let it do its thing.
Which is typically what usually happens to most of the
right,
satellites.
right.
We
We just leave
on,
them. Yeah.
and you know, at some particular point, the batteries fail, and,
Right.
you know, and off we go.
Right.
But
Yeah.
this one is running well, and gosh, it's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
I just was on it myself here.
It's not like it's not like they're going to go up to pull it back down or
Right.
anything. It's sunk cost already. It's up
So
there.
the community is kind of stepping up and saying, "Gee, folks, I mean, if you need the resources, we do this.
Right.
We have managed our own satellites. We have a community here.
Mm-hmm.
We'd be more than happy to be able to step up. You know, let us know.
Yeah, actually, that's.
Let us know. Give us some feedback. What can
Yeah.
we do?
All right. Well, we're going to stay on top of this one. We're going to figure out what's going on.
Well,
Hopefully, we
you're
can
doing it,
help.
Jason.
Let's keep it going.
All right.
So appreciate it. Thank you.
Hey, you're more than welcome.
How you doing, Bill?
Well, I'm doing okay. Anybody who can hear me, I can work.
You know, you can't ask for much more than that, right?
No. Most of the time I get, asked for 3 repeats or so.
Okay.
Which means we're not getting out very well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're on 20 on the BuddiHEX. What is this? I saw you.
Oh, this is a Logic Key K5 keyer that was, I don't know if you're familiar with Logic Key keyers. They're CMOS keyers.
I'm not.
But they've been around for 30 years or more. And they started out with a K1 and a K2, and they go through the numbers.
Uh-huh.
When they came out with the K5, they first came out with it as a kit.
Okay.
That's their most recent one. They're not in business anymore because the PC boards cost too much.
Okay.
During the pandemic, the cost went
Took 'em
up,
out.
and they just took them out. Yeah. But this was the kit version.
And this allows you to pre-program.
I can pre-program, but it's a CW controlled keyer. Everything is inputted in CW.
Oh, fun. Yeah. As a lot of things are like
Yeah,
that.
it's like the K1 EL keyers are that way too.
I've got a couple of, like a Mountain Topper, right? Mountain Topper
Yeah, yeah.
has the, but that's a push button, but you do key everything in. So
You have to key everything in.
Mhm.
So this is pretty easy. If you want to put in a menu, you just go like that.
Oh, that's cool. Okay.
You know,
yeah.
it's easy to program for a contest. So
Right.
I just put W6TRW and then our class,
Oh, right.
and then thank you, just in case. You know.
Right. So really, the only thing you're doing then is keying the call you're replying to,
No, you don't have to key the call that you're replying to.
but on the contest.
Not in the contest.
Okay. So you're just given the. So you're not you're chasing,
I'm chasing.
and so they're calling CQ.
Uh-huh.
They come back to TRW, and then you give your call again, or what do you do?
No, you just give the report. You just give the
Oh, right, because they're saying specifically for you.
right.
So you just hit them with the report,
Just the report, and that's it.
because you've already heard their call sign and their.
And they've heard my call sign.
Right, but do they give, like when they're calling CQ, do they
give
also give the section and all that?
They give that after they acknowledge your call.
Okay, so they give you did audit, or what's the exchange for their
Well,
side?
the exchange is you call them,
Mhm.
they call you back,
Mhm.
and then they give you their report.
Oh, they call your call sign. So
Yeah.
they gave us the they give you the W6TRW,
Right.
then their operating group, and then the org.
Right, and
yeah.
then you come back with your information.
Got it. Okay, so that's
it's-
pretty efficient.
It is
Yeah.
efficient. Some people put their call in the middle there, but
That slows you down.
it does.
Yeah.
You don't really need that.
Right. And for you chasing, you've already keyed up most of the stuff because you probably heard them work somebody else. Or,
That's right. That's what I do, because I usually can't get all the information, because most of the time I'm waiting like 5 times before I can get through.
Right. Yeah. That's the trouble with QRP.
Yep.
Well, thank you for explaining that. That's awesome.
Yeah, no, this is fun though.
And the Bear Dynamics, amazing headphones.
Oh, I've been using them for years.
They're great.
Years ago, I tried Heil headphones, and they were okay.
Yeah.
But they weren't comfortable for a long period of time.
Mm-hmm.
And my son said, "Well, let's go over to the guitar store, and they have a whole selection of headphones,
Yeah.
and try them out." So I did. I went over there and I spent about an hour trying different headphones, and I came away with 2 pairs, one for my radio and one for my stereo.
There you go. Yeah, because they do multi-ohm. There's all kinds of different ohm varieties.
Oh, I know.
They have a super low ohm for the real stereophile people.
Yeah, no, these are the 200 and something ohm ones.
Oh, so that's pretty.
Or 80 ohms rather.
Oh, I was gonna say 200 ohms. You'd have to drive an amp into that.
Yeah, no.
80 ohms. That's what I use
This
for
is
my
the-
computer.
Yeah, I have them on my stereo at home. I have another pair on my regular rig,
Mhm.
and I leave this pair in my pack for POTA.
Smart.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for showing the shack.
Yeah, fun.
Yeah.